The last occasion, once this matter came, my lord has asked to file the amended petition first. We have already filed. That process has been done. My lord, the background of this case is that this is the SOCOS notice issued second time uh, on the same materials under GST. But the background of this case, which is recorded as per the SOCOS notice, is that somewhere in 2018, Income Tax Department conducted a search for the period of 2012-13 to 2018-19. Proceeding was initiated by the Income Tax Department. On the basis of that, the Income Tax Department passed assessment order for 2017-18. By taking those assessment as a base, they issued the first SOCOS notice. First SOCOS notice was ultimately dropped because first SOCOS notice was issued on the basis of the clandestine removal. Since there was no investigation done by the GST department, and the period which was first SOCOS notice period up to 30th June 2017, and the tribunal came to the conclusion that since there was no investigation has to be done only on the basis of the income tax order. No SOCOS notice could have been issued. There has to be onus is on the revenue department if there is any clandestine removal, from where the purchase is made, what was the electricity consumed, raw material, sales, gas, etc. Nothing was done. Proceeding was dropped. After the gap of very material fact, after the gap of more than 2 years, 3 months, the second SOCOS notice, which is now impugned, is before my lord. The impugned notice itself again record the relied upon document assessment order passed by the Income Tax Department. Entire SOCOS notice record on the basis of the extract given in the income tax assessment order only. And what happened, my lord? In the meantime, this time which was extended even for the issuance of SOCOS notice under Section 73 even expired. They issued the 74 notice, and only on the basis of those documents, knowingly that the 73 notice now cannot be issued because the same material facts was before them even more than 2 years, 3 months before, once the first SOCOS notice was issued. Now second SOCOS notice has been issued without any investigation at all. Therefore, my humble submission is that the period is different. The first SOCOS notice was prior to the GST period up to 30th June. Now, for the GST period, 2017-18 and 18-19, 2 years, the SOCOS notice has been issued. But the SOCOS notice for 2017-18, 18-19 issued in 2024, July 2024, my lord. And there is a huge gap. And we have filed these petitions, my lord, couple of months back, since there was a winter vacations, it could not be listed. No, my lord, we have not filed the reply, but we have just intimated them by filing a brief reply that we have proceeded and filed the writ petition before this honorable court. No, there cannot be stay further proceeding by the officers. No, my lord, this is the time bound periods and. No, my lord. Since the time is still there, this and we have filed the brief synopsis also. It is not like that we have not. We recently filed it. Therefore, my lord, kindly no, my lord. No, my lord, kindly now see the SOCOS notice, para 2, page number 287, rather 288, my lord. 288, sorry, 288, para 1.3. Yes, the period, my lord, it is the SOCOS notice, this SOCOS notice period, they said the SOCOS notice assessment order issued by the Income Tax Department is for the assessment year 2013-14, financial year 2012-13 to 2018-19. And the search conducted on 24/10/2018. This SOCOS notice has come now in 2024, my lord, after the search which was conducted by the Income Tax Department. The second, my lord, para 3, my lord, kindly see, only heading, issue referred in is the dates, data shared by the Income Tax Department. There is no investigation was done. And now, my lord, kindly see, para 4. Yes, my lord. In the, my lord, the law settled by the various high court, including no, my lord. My submission is that unless until there is a tangible evidence to show that, so far as clandestine removal is concerned, if there no, my lord, kindly see, my lord. No, my lord, since the same very facts were already before them,
That is your defense.
No, my lord, always we come before my lord when there is always a defense. Otherwise, if we are defenseless, we can't come before my lord.
No, depends on merit.
No, my lord, we are. Yeah, my lord.
Which clause you follow, those clauses are there. Time and again the explain to all of when either it is without, either it is contrary or challenge, or you are point out in which clause.
My lord, the first my submission is that why this petition was amended, since we challenged the one provision. Why 74 is invoked when there is no 74 grounds is there? My lord has considered
Based
this.
on merit.
No, my lord. My lord has recently even granted an interim relief that 74 if cannot be invoked as so cause notice, and then my lord has stayed the proceeding. That my lord in this case kindly considers the yes, my lord, is depend upon fact of the each case. Therefore, my case is that the section 74 notice why it was issued once the time 73 was lapsed. And since there is a provision which I have I will come to that. My lord, just one line submission why I have challenged the provision, because they know it under section 75(2). Yes, I am coming to that. No, my lord, that is
We cannot go by that.
yes, absolutely correct. Why I am saying
By what is stated.
yes, just one line submission kindly allow me, because since I have challenged that provision, the 75(2), as last time my lord has asked me why this amendment was required, they said if 74 does not succeed, the law says, then thus it will automatically determine the duty under section 73. That can never happen like this, my lord. Once if I succeed 74, then how it could fall back under 73? That is a material. That's why, my lord, my prayer double B, which I have amended as my lord allowed my petition. That's why kindly now come to the what is the ground mentioned in this invocation of extended period, my lord. Kindly come to the yes, page number 338, my lord, para 10. Whereas during the period July 2017 to March 2019, it appears that the message so and so has indulged in the evasion of GST by way of hiding actual production detail from the department. Accordingly, resulted in clandestine supply of so and so with the intention to evade payment of tax by reason of fraud or any willful misstatement or suppression of facts. All the three elements they have used it, my lord, and nothing was stated about it. Further, it appears that Messrs. So and so has evaded GST by hiding their outward tax liability by not filing stipulated return. That assumption itself is wrong. I am registered, I am filing return, everything is uploaded, everything is there. The statement that I have not filed the return, that means I am not registered, I am not filing return at all. Thus, the message series so and so has contravened the provision of so and so for the period so and the same is liable to be recovered by invoking the extended period of 74(1) of the CGST Act, read with 74(1) of the Gujarat CG Act. It is pertinent to mention here that the system of self-assessment is VOGU in respect of the GST return. In scheme of self-assessment, the department, DGJ, come to know about the evasion of duty during the scrutiny of the document recorded by the taxpayers, that is also wrong. No, our document was taken. No, my lord, I'm just making a statement. This.
Why do you say it is wrong? Under what basis are you? If you say it is wrong, you have to substantiate and you have to edit. Otherwise, we say that what you are saying is right. This is wrong.
I kindly allow me to.
You understand what?
Yes, why I'm saying so? It because.
Comment. Just point out that how this is not fitting within the scope.
Yes, my lord.
These are all matter of adjudication. What you are comment. This is wrong, then it is required adjudication. The moment you say it is wrong, it requires adjudication.
I will come to them. Let me complete this only two paragraphs. Yes, my lord.
Take any comment, it leads to adjudication.
In the scheme of self-assessment, the department DGGI come to know about the evasion of duty during the scrutiny of the document record of the taxpayer. The fact of the tax evasion come to notice only after the initiation of investigation by DGGI. Therefore, it places greater onus on the taxpayer to comply with the higher standard of the disclosure of the information in the statutory return under CGST Act 2017. Various courts, including the Apex Court, have clearly laid down the principle that the tax liability is a civil obligation and therefore the intent to evade payment of tax cannot be established by peering into the minds of the taxpayer, but has to be established through the evaluation of the tax behavior. The responsibility of the taxpayer to voluntarily make information disclosure in much greater in the system of self-assessment. In view of the above, it apparent that the so-and-so has deliberately suppressed these facts from the department, resorted to misdeclaration and willful suppression of facts with a deliberate intent to evade payment of tax by not filing the stipulated GST return. The above act of the omission or commission constitute an offence of the nature or the type defined under section 132 of the Act, and accordingly extended period of limitation rightly invocable as provided under provisos to section 74 of the CGST Act, read with section so and so. My respectful submission is that once 74 is invoked, there has to be material in the SOCO's notice, either fraud, like three elements they have used as per 310 my lord. Yes. This is extract of the income tax order only. Yes, my lord. Roman 4, my lord. The supervisor and the accountant of the SSC has accepted in their statement that the physical stock is taken once during the year and near Diwali only, and all entries for production are made in the estimated basis in tally. Therefore, the stock details produced by the SSC during assessment proceeding cannot be relied upon, as not updating books regularly leaves huge scope of manipulation. The SSC has manipulated books for accommodating stock difference found during the search and survey. Therefore, the books produced during the assessment proceeding cannot be relied upon. Yes. As per the submission of the SSC, total stock, raw material plus semi-finished goods, after updating pending entries come to so and so ton. However, as per the books presented by the SSC during the course of such proceeding, the total stock was so and so ton only. The stock as per the updating books of SSC is nearly twice the books at the time of the search. There could not be such huge variance in the stock due to the pending entries. The SSC has submitted details of only 2 pending entries of the raw material purchase, which is also not verifiable. Therefore, the detail produced by the SSC during the assessment proceeding are not found to be genuine, as these are doctored to accommodate the stock difference and found at the time of search. From the detail of the stock, it can be seen that the physical stock in the form of scrap, semi-finished goods and finished goods, that is, all items are found in excess of the stock as per the books during the search. This means that the SSC is in practice of unaccounted purchase of raw material, subsequently unaccommodated sales of production through its sister concern or undisclosed concern. The detail of various undisclosed concern of the SSC, such as so and so has been found from the seized impounded tally data from the sister concern of the SSC being managed by the partners. During the course of the survey action 133A of the Income Tax Act, Sriji Traders Proprietor so and so address, etc., various incriminated documents were found and impounded after being properly inventories as these. These annexures contain daily sales and purchase transaction of the SSC. During the course of the survey proceeding under section 133 of the Act, the statement of so and so working as a manager of Sriji Traders was recorded. He stated that there was a certain percentage of sales and purchase which were unaccounted. He stated that with every purchase from so and so, he received kacha bills, and after delivery of the goods, he only entered a certain part of such purchases in the books. Remaining is not recorded in the books of accounts. The supervisor of Sri so and so admitted that during the such proceeding that out of purchases made from so and so, around so and so has received unaccounted, and the same is further sold as unaccounted sale. This is further corroborated the fact that the SSC is indulged in unaccounted production, and further evidence of unaccounted production have been found from the premises of the SSC, which is disclosed above in para 4.1. In view of the above, it is established that the SSC has failed to explain the excess stock of so and so for the financial year so and so, which is illicit clandestine purchase of the goods. Further, the same is not recorded in the books of account, and same is liable to be treated as unaccounted income and accordingly liable to pay GST in so and so. Now, my lord, this is the yes. No, my lord, I'm submitting. Kindly see, my lord, this is the income tax. There is a law is settled on. Kindly see the SOCO's notice relied upon document. SOCO's notice has to give me all these evidence. SOCO's notice cannot be briefed of any materials. Only on the basis of the assessment of the income tax, SOCO's notice can never be issued under the. This is exactly the first SOCO's notice was also dropped. First SOCO's notice because there was no independent. Kindly see the relied upon document, my lord. The list is attached here, page 344. No document ever, my lord. Kindly see para 24 of the SOCO's notice. Merely averments can never have any case unless there is a tangible materials, my lord, which is given to the SSC. They kindly see what is the materials. They said list of document relied upon in this notice. Clearly stated in para 24. the list of then assessment order so and so, that is the passed by the income tax department. Then the second assessment order, that is the only documents. There is no material, and there is, my lord, as per the their circular issued in February 2021, the manual of what the 2004 DGGI is still applicable in GST law, and that clearly state no so-called notice shall be issued without any investigation and once the fact is ascertainable. Secondly, even in the income tax also it was held on merely basis the Central Excise Department pass any order, income tax assessment cannot proceed merely on the basis of that. Similarly, my lord has also held and upheld the various decision. If there is a clandestine removal, certain investigation has to be done. From where material purchased, what is the material, what is the fact. These are the clearly stated in para 4, my lord. If my lord read, he clearly referred that these are only extract from the order passed by the income tax department. If my lord kindly see para 6 also, page 319. Entire 319, my lord, kindly see para 6. Quantification of GST worked out by way of suppression of production, etc., etc. They clearly said during 6.1, during the course of the search action by the income tax department on such and such at the premises of so and so, printout of the WhatsApp chat, etc. was taken. There is nothing on record all these things. If GST department has to proceed against me, they have to bring all material on record. They should have conducted search. They should have conducted investigation. They should have given some documents only on the basis of some assessment order is passed under the Income Tax Act. Nothing, even one word is stated about what they have done. That's why, my lord, I respectfully submit. Once invocation of extended period, the allegation is made. They said, I did not file GST return. Let my learned friend file an affidavit. It is already on the portal. Nowadays, it is not like that somebody filed on paper and backdate entry like this. It is dated even minute by minute when the GST return is filed. I am registered, I am filing GST return. GST return reflects everything. They said GST return was not filed. So secondly, all the three elements were stated in that paragraph for invocation. What is fraud? Entire so-called notice doesn't state what is fraud. Secondly, they said misstatement. That itself state that I filed some statement, then there could be misstatement. They said there was no return was filed. How there could be misstatement? Thirdly, they said suppression. Once even in the Nizam Sugar case, not exactly on the same facts, my lord, Nizam Sugar case was Supreme Court held. Once there is a facts is known to the department, while first show-cause notice was issued, once the second show-cause notice was issued, the same very set of facts, the extended period cannot be invoked, suppression cannot be. Therefore, my lord, this is the law laid down in various decisions. My lord, permit me, I can just cite the few of the decision, my lord. Yes, my kindly just read one paragraph from the C-state order of the first show-cause notice, why it was dropped. May I just draw the attention, my lord? Same very set of facts. The first show-cause notice was also issued. I will point out the same very set of facts was recorded in the first show-cause notice. Same information, same income tax data, same assessment order, my lord. This page 471, my lord, 471. After the top two lines, the information regarding the search under provision of Income Tax Act, may I read, man? 471. The information regarding the search under provision of Income Tax Act was provided to the DGJ Ahmedabad. DGJ Ahmedabad, on the basis of the information provided by the Income Tax Department, issued show-cause notice. That is regarding the first show-cause notice. And now, my lord, kindly come why what was the recorded in para 5.3, page 473, my lord. 470. We further find that the DGJ did not carry out any independent investigation. And the entire case is based upon the Income Tax Department case, which is altogether for different purpose, such as disclosure of cash, if any. This alone does not establish the charge of clandestine removal of goods. If at all, Central Excise Department has any reasonable belief that the respondent indulged in evasion of excise duty by removal of excisable goods clandestinely, the DGGI must conduct an independent investigation with regard to the facts, if any, such as procurement of raw material, manufacturing of alleged goods, transportation of alleged clandestine removal of goods, buyer of such alleged goods, payment of receipt against such removal of goods. However, in in the present case, since DGGI has not done any independent investigation with regard to the above count, not a single evidence on the above aspect was either collected or adduced in the present case, as discussed about, mere bald statement without cross-examination, without supporting of documentary evidence, cannot be used as a conclusive evidence to establish the charge of clandestine removal of exciseable goods. Therefore, we are of the view that the learned Commissioner appeal has correctly set aside the order in original. This the department appeal was dismissed, and two, as per my instruction, department has not even challenged that, since there is already law laid down even by this honorable High Court. Once such a case is there, some kind of investigation is required to be done, because bald assertions made in the invocation of extended period, the entire facts already taken from extract from that. It is, in fact, every printout below they stated that the para so and so of assessment order of income tax department, para so and so of the income tax assessment order, para so and so of the income tax. Therefore, why I was making a respectful submission that the GST return is not filed, that without even this is such a bald and false statement is made in the SOCOS notice, when the GST returns has to be filed online, and which is filed, and I'm still assessed under the GST. It is not like that I'm not the GST assessee at all. Even today also I am being assessed. And first SOCOS notice, my lord, department confirmed the demand. Then Commissioner appeal dropped that, and thereafter the department went into the appeal. My respectful submission is that once this fact was, same very fact was available, my lord, kindly see first SOCOS notice, just 2-3 lines only. First SOCOS notice, that is on page 143. This is on 9th April 2024, my lord. All the three parties SOCOS notice, my lord. Kindly see 144, page 144. Same very averments is made, exactly the same which is in the second SOCOS notice. My respectful submission that if my lord can see, the couple of decisions, my lord. The first decision, Magma Sarachi, my lord, para 25 and 26, my lord, on page 11, my lord, para 26, my lord. There is no, there is on record in the impugned order that the appellant refused, failed, or neglect to produce any document or evidence before the tribunal, where investigation and inquiry were unable to bring to light material which would be the basis for direction to take additional evidence. We find that such direction in the impugned order have been made without reason. Thereafter, my lord, kindly underline, the adjudicating authority cannot be directed to fish out evidence. The Central Excise Intelligence and Investigation Manual require the SOCOS notice to be issued only after proper inquiry, investigation, that is when the facts used are ascertained and the allegation justified. The other particular in the said manual also relied upon by the appellant also assume significance. The adjudicating authority to adjudicate on the demand in the SOCOS notice based upon the allegation made in therein. There is no finding in the impugned order setting aside as erroneous is a finding of the adjudicating authority on the basis of material that were there before the adjudicating authority or before the tribunal. And the my lord, now my lord, kindly see the instruction I have enclosed 13 and 14. In this instruction in GST, it was stated that the manual which was issued for Central Excise Department equally valid. Page 13, my lord, the first paragraph, the last 3 lines. Accordingly, the instruction contained in the Central Excise Intelligence and Investigation Manual 2004, which hold goods even in the GST regime, are hereby reiterated for compliance by the DGGI and field formation. Therefore, my respectful submission, DGGI themselves are bound by their own instruction that investigation has to be carried out, and which they have not done. Now, my lord, the third is the Nizam Sugar case, when the extended period cannot be invoked. The two proposition, my lord, in this case, was the same very set of facts. The matter is already under different stage of that the suppression of facts, etc., cannot be alleged. Similarly, when the second and third SOCOS notice issued, suppression cannot be alleged. My lord, kindly see para 8 and 9, my lord, in this case. Page number 18, my lord. Para 8 refer to the earlier decision of the Honorable Supreme Court, P&B Pharmaceutical Private Limited versus Collector of Central Excise 2003, my lord, has taken a view that in a case, my lord, para 8 third line, my lord, in which a SOCOS notice has been issued for the earlier period on certain set of facts, then on the same set of facts, another SOCOS notice based upon the same or similar set of facts, invoking the extended period of limitation on the plea of suppression of fact by the assessee, cannot be issued, as as the facts were already in the knowledge of the department. It was observed in para 14 as follows. We have indicated above the facts which make it clear that the question whether the message pharma distributor was a related person has been the subject matter of the consideration of the excise authority at different stages. When the classification was filed, when the first so-cause notice was issued in so and also at the stage when the second and the third so-cause notice were issued in so and so. In all these stages, the necessary material was before the authorities. They had then, subsequently, it was a related person. The same fact would not be treated as a suppression of facts on the parts of the assessee as the saddle with the liability of the duty for a larger period by invoking the provision to section 11A of the Act. So far as the assessee is concerned, it has also along been contending that they were not related persons. So it cannot be said that the guilty of not filing the declaration in the prescribed form indicate the related person. The necessary facts has been brought to the notice of the authority at different level and so, but that they had dropped the proceeding, accepting that the message formatted was not a related person. It is therefore futile to contend that there has been suppression of facts in regard to so and so being a related person. On that score, we are unable to uphold the invoking the extended period under section so and so. Then further, the ECE para 4 of that judgment has been, the question was whether the extended period of limitation could be invoked where the department has earlier issued so-cause notice in respect of the same subject matter. It has been held that such a circumstances, it could not be said that there was any willful suppression or misstatement, and therefore the extended period of limitation can be invoked. Similarly, the another judgment is also on the ratio laid down in this judgment. It must be held that once the earlier so-cause notice on the similar issue has been issued, it can no longer be said that there was any suppression. The extended period of limitation was thus not to be available. We are unable to accept the submission that the earlier so-cause notice was for a subsequent period and it cannot be taken into consideration as it is not known when the so-cause notice was dropped. If the department wanted to take up such contention, it is for them that the so-cause notice was not relevant, was not applicable. The department has not brought any of those facts on record. Therefore, the department cannot now urge that the finding of the collector that the so-cause notice was on a similar issue and for an identical amount is not correct. Allegation of the suppression of fact against the appellant cannot be sustained when the first so-cause notice was issued. All the relevant facts were in the knowledge of the authority. Later on, while issuing the second and third so-cause notice, as the same or similar facts could not be taken as suppression of facts on the part of the assessee, as these facts were already in the knowledge of the authority. We agree with the view taken by the aforesaid judgment and respectively following the same hold that there was no suppression of fact on the part of the assessee and the appellant. And my lord, the clandestine, yes, my lord, yes, my lord, my humble submission is.
Judgment where the issuance of the
Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord. Once the extended period of limitation is invocable or not, yes.
that is similar to what
Yes, my lord. But my respectful as a student of law is that if the law is laid down something, if it will cause lot of harassment. Otherwise, every time a so-cause notice is issued, which is bare facts, is not sustainable. Like my lord quashed the FIR only on the basis of that. If the FIR by bare provisional, if the charge sheet is filed with no evidence is there, let me give. Yes, my lord, the decision was that the tribunal decision was a pen.
it is adjudicated.
Yes, my lord.
You raise all this
Yes, but my lord, my respectful submission is that it should not be. That's why, my lord, once the bare so-cause notice on the reading. Yes, my lord.
late, so there is no overlapping.
That I will show, my lord. The direct decision is there. If the same, my lord, kindly see
Suppose direct decision, please tell us on any decision. Suppose
was entered Honorable Supreme Court in 2013 4 SCC page number 340. Set that order directing that what exactly my lordship said the High Court should have dismissed the petition, directing the petitioner to respond the so-cause notice and to raise false suspicion. Exactly word to words.
My lord, in the state of Punjab and others and Batinda, the Supreme Court in 2007, 11 SCC.
research is
No. It is already there in my. I am not making a research because no, it is not in this compilation, my lord. My lord, no, my lord. On the query to the answering to the query, my lord, I am not making it in the para 69 in these judgments. Once the question of limitation arises, that is the question of jurisdiction, and if
we
the
understand.
Yes.
Question of jurisdiction. Here is a question like either it immediately issue the notice if you are convinced on this. The entire case, the department is on the course of now you come where they are referred to this, why this maybe you are already aware
No.
that you have found out.
Just one correction, my lord, if my lord permit me. It is not on the material found on the income tax department. It is the basis of the assessment order. Material found is something different. If those material are given to me, my lord, the SOCO's notice cannot be.
Come to the time.
Yes, my lord.
Brief therapy.
Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord. Yes. Inquiry investigation against so and so has been forwarded to DGGI during the RCIC meeting by the Income Tax Department, and accordingly, the Income Tax Department have provided the soft copies of the relevant SOCO's notice, assessment order, and annexure to this office in the course for the period so and so. And accordingly, the present investigation covers the period for this and this. Yes.
This is the basis.
Yes, absolutely, I agree.
This is the basis whether this can be considered what are there can be double level is here covered this now whether your answer all these are
Absolutely correct, my lord. But
you cannot shut this process at this stage.
yes, my lord, respectfully submits that if these material are placed with the SOCO's notice, then I would not have been before, my lord.
We
Ma-
direct them to give you within 1 week.
ma-
Because I have soft copies. Today, by tomorrow, you will get everything
Yeah.
on your
Ma-
Google Drive.
my lord, my
It's a
lord,
voluminous material,
no, my lord,
including statements directly incriminating the.
my lord, kindly consider this decision. This decision, my lord, just I will take 5 minutes because that's why I'm submitting why 73 notice was not issued because that time has process lapsed. That's why, yes.
We are not here to adjudicate that aspect.
yes, my lord.
This is a pure matter of defense. It has to be considered by adjudicating up to with regard to the material.
That's why, my lord, last time allowed my lord the amendment because kindly see that amendment. This amendment.
Careful play to the.
May I read the section 75.2, my lord? That 75.2, my lord, which is under challenge. That's why, my lord, it is important. And without that, no, not because of this virus as challenge for just for the sake of that. That is very material in the facts and circumstances of this case. Yes, my lord, 75.2, my lord, may I read? Where any appellate authority or appellate tribunal or courts concludes that the notice issued under subsection 1 of section 74 is not sustainable for the reason that the charges of fraud or any willful misstatement or suppression of facts to evade tax has not been established, either the person to whom the notice was issued, the proper officer shall determine the tax payable by such person, deeming as if the notice was issued under subsection 1 of section 73. Therefore, section 73 and 74 are different. If this is the provision which they have made first time in the GST law, this has been in the ages, my lord, the law is the Central Excise Service Tax. That once the suppression, etc., fraud is not proved and the so-called notice goes, then they said we will determine the liability under section 73. So it is just like I said in the loose language, they want to keep the sweets in both hands. They said issue a so-called notice under section 74, knowing that it will not sustain because as the Supreme Court time again said, you can't make just an allegation. There has to be foundation, has to be laid down in the so-called notice. Yes, my lord. 75.2, my lord. Where any appellate authority or even the court also, my lord, it says that the appellate authority, appellate tribunal or the court concludes that the notice issued under subsection.
That is after
Yes, sir, maybe. Maybe, my lord, that's why my submissions.
Let's focus on it.
Yes.
Unless the here effects and comes to the check, then you're here.
Yeah, that's why I'm my lord submitting. Then, if ultimately, then this section will come in my way always, entire life. And my lord, kindly appreciate.
You can challenge.
Yeah, that's why I have challenged today itself.
But it-
No, my lord, the law one can challenge. I, as a advocate, challenged the law even before GST came on 1st July. As a JK Mittal, I challenged in 7th July because for all fraternity, they said you are not supposed to pay on reverse charge, half this. And entire law was changed then because therefore the law is not necessary. I have to challenge when the law is made. Every parliament make a law. Farmer law was made, immediately challenged. Every law is immediately challenged. It has come on my head. 74 notice has been issued. 73 is applicable. And that's why 73 time has gone. Therefore, this notice has been issued to me. And my lord, kindly appreciate, there is have to be foundation about the three elements. They have never stated what is fraud. They have never stated what is willful misstatement. They said return is not filed. This is factually wrong.
a statement. It is already on the uploaded. Let my learned friend file an affidavit. If in GST no return is filed, not only I will be the out, I will bear even the all consequences, including a penalty. If some false statement is somebody issue a so-called notice, I am not an advocate. My lord, I have to come here because if there is a factual false statement is made, my lord, therefore kindly appreciate. I have challenged this law, and that's why this petition came to me for this, I said ki you are lacking in this point, and this will come on your way always. If the after the I lost the case or win the case, and thereafter I have to come. If I know it, this is on my way, I have to challenge it. Therefore, that's why, my lord, kindly see the both notification I have attached with the writ petition, my lord. In the writ petition, my lord, the notification they issued in 73 for time extension, kindly see page 283. This was for 2017-18. Last date for passing of order, my lord, is 31st December 2023. That means the so-called notice has to be issued 3 months prior to that, 30th September 2023. This second year, my lord, kindly see the next page, that then the another notification time period was extended for 18-19, because we are concerned for 17-18 and 18-19. 18-19 last date for passing of order 30th April 2024. There were the so-called notice has to be issued 3 months prior to that under section 73(2). That is that come out to be 31st January 2024. Both time period lapsed, and day after 24th July 2024. The so-called notice was issued, and same very facts which were in the first so-called notice, same exactly word to word paragraph that the same search was conducted. Therefore, my humble submission is that, my lord, the both on the virus as well as in the so-called notice, my lord, issue the notice to them, and that will come on the facts. Their case is only on the basis that, no, my lord, the clandestine removal judgment also, my lord, kindly see on, and the 6 and 7 number, just for by sake of satisfaction, 6th number. Here the so-called income tax department rely upon the so-called notice by the central tax department. That was rejected. Page 25 to 28, the income tax case, it is the other way around. The merely on the basis of the so-called notice issued by the central tax department, the determination of the tax under income tax cannot be made at all. There is a judgment, my lord. Similarly, on the clandestine removal, there are judgments. The clandestine removal, the burden has to be discharged. There has to be some investigation. Therefore, my lord, kindly see even 7 also, para 12, which I have extracted in my index itself, page 29 to 30. It was also on clandestine removal only. Further, unless there is a clinching evidence in the nature of purchase of raw material, use of electricity, sale of final products, clandestine removal, the mode and flow of back of funds, demand cannot be confirmed solely on the basis of the presumption and assumption. Clandestine removal is a serious charge against the manufacturer, which is required to be discharged by the revenue by production of sufficient and tangible evidence. On careful examination, it is found that regard to the alleged removal, the department has not investigated the following aspects. And my lord, know the law. What the Supreme Court said, any document, any notice, order, communication has to be challenged. It is only on the basis of that. It cannot be supplanted and supplemented by further affidavit by even the revenue. That's why, my lord, has laid down the law. So-called notice always a foundation. If there is no material in the so-called notice, only the assessment order. That's why, my lord, I deliberately referred the para 24 of the so-called notice. They said the relied upon document only 2, the assessment order. Assessment order is under challenge. The income tax proceeding is going on. How that could be the only and sole foundation? I can appreciate, my lord. If that is the one of the 2 documents and there are 100 others, then I have no case at all. But my case is that since there is no material at all and merely averments is made about the extended period, all the 3 elements, nothing, even a one word is not stated what is fraud about there. They said the DGJ investigated, no material. The false averment, my lord, kindly go by that paragraph which I read for extended period. There is an entire so-called notice, nothing is stated. It is like that these 2 paragraphs they have stated like this. If my learned friend can submit that yes, DGJ investigated even one notice, one etc., I will be out of the court, my lord. Just I'm drawing again attention. This so-called notice, my lord, the extended period reason has been given in para 10 on page 338. If my lord see that state that the DGJ investigated. It is not the DGJ investigated. It is the income tax department investigated. DGJ entire so-called notice they extracted and below that written paragraph so and so assessment here. No material, my lord. Therefore, my humble request is that both on the count of the validity of this provision of the law and whether the extended period on the basis of these facts which extracted on para 10, 10.1, 1, 2 and 3, even the return is not filed, my lord. If my lord wants, I will file all my returns of the GST till date. It is on record. He said the GST return is not filed. There is no need, my lord. The authority can always see my portal. That's why, my lord, somebody make a false statement on the basis of, my lord,
Where
there.
it is corroborated by
My lord, I have filed. My learned friend can submit. My lord, my lord. One more decision was there of the burden. Burden is cast on the revenue serial number 5, 24 to 24 pages. That
don't any condition prior to it.
my lord, I can show the judgment which the extended period invoked or not. My lord, the interim order passed extended period very recently. Just I can give extended period invoked or not. The my lord has entertained, not only entertained, even the interim order was passed. Extended period only. Just recently, my lord. After arguing for some time, the learner counsel seeks some time. Learner advocate so and so responded, the authorities are proceeded with the hearing of the impugned so cause notice during the pendency of this petition. It was further submitted that the petitioner has a strong prima facie case as a respondent could not have assumed the jurisdiction to invoke the 74(5). I think it should be one of the central excise so and so, as there is no suppression of fact on the part of the petitioner with regard to the invoices raised on the so and so for the so and so. And it was pointed out from the impugned so cause notice by the learned counsel for the petitioner that no details are given in regard to the alleged suppression of facts by the petitioner. And in view of the above, we are of the opinion that the petitioner was made out a very strong prima facie case for granting interim relief during the pendency of this petition. Therefore, the respondent may proceed with the hearing of the so cause notice, but no final order shall be passed without permission of this court during the pendency of this petition. 74 was invoked, and my lord, my case is also that there is no material for about the suppression, etc., fraud. All the adjectives, 74(5) the intimation, my lord. That's why I submitted respectively 74(1). 74 is the prior to the so cause notice, which is called the DRC 01A, my lord, the intimation.
75.
74 so cause notice issued 74(1). Intimation is issued in the 74(5), my lord. Intimation means the prior so cause notice, my lord, the DRC 01A.
Therefore,
Here is the so cause notice, my lord. Because the hearing is only for the so cause notice. That's why I submitted it should have been 74(1). So cause notice issued.
that people not
No, my lord, the question here is that whether the suppression can be invoked or not.
because there is no
No, my lord, may I read again? The para 3.
before service of 74(5) charge one, or as the cases is we have recorded, the question is that 1A was issued on
No,
without issuance of 1A, whether one can be issued or not.
Yeah, but
Here it is one is issued.
no, in this case, the so cause notice is issued, but
Without issuing the following 74.
no, my lord, respectfully submit, it says the question of suppression, whether suppression has or not. 74. May I read it again? It was further submitted that the petitioner has very strong premise against the respondent could not have assumed the jurisdiction and so, as there was no suppression on the part of the petitioner with regard to invoices so and so. It was pointed out the impugned so cause notice.